bombshell developments tonight in the election subversion case against former President Donald Trump.
New details, including never before disclosed evidence in a filing by special counsel Jack Smith outlining what he calls Trump's increasingly desperate bid to overturn the 2020 election. The filing, which was unsealed today, alleges Trump intentionally lied to the public, state election officials, and his own vice president in an effort to cling to power despite knowing he lost the election.
John Fenoglio is here now with a look at the report that reignites the debate over January 6th, just a little more than a month before the November 5th election. John?
Cher and Micah, the filing is a direct response to the Supreme Court's recent immunity ruling. Now, in this 165-page document, special counsel Jack Smith lays out his case against former President Trump, claiming his actions to overturn the results of the 2020 election were not official acts as president, but the plotting of a political candidate, and are therefore not immune from prosecution. Tonight, special counsel Jack Smith introducing new evidence of former President Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Smith arguing Trump's actions were those of a private candidate, not the official acts of a president that are protected by the Supreme Court's July ruling on immunity, and that Trump resorted to crimes to cling to power. Smith writing, at its core, the defendant's scheme was a private one. He extensively used private actors and his campaign infrastructure to attempt to overturn the election results and operated in a private capacity as a candidate for office.
This filing is all about Jack Smith saying, I've read the Supreme Court's decision that said there is broad immunity for presidents and former presidents from criminal prosecution. But what Jack Smith is saying is that everything he's alleging here is private conduct, and the Supreme Court found that there is no immunity for private conduct.
Smith filed the 165-page sealed legal brief last week. U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan released a redacted version late Wednesday. The special counsel also accuses Trump of knowing his fraud claims were false because he continued to make those claims even after his close advisors, acting not in an official capacity but in a private or campaign-related capacity, told him they were not true. According to the filing, in November 2020 after the election, at a private lunch, then Vice President Mike Pence tried to urge Trump to accept the results and run again in 2024. Trump allegedly replied, I don't know, 2024 is so far off. And according to the filing, on January 6, 2021, after Trump's claims of widespread election fraud had been debunked, the former president directed an angry crowd of supporters to the United States Capitol to obstruct the congressional certification. Video of the insurrection showed rioters storming the Capitol after Trump told them at a rally to, quote, fight like hell. Some in the angry mob shouted, quote, hang Mike Pence. In the filing, Smith says that, when told by a White House staffer his vice president was in danger, Trump allegedly replied, so what?
I didn't rig the election. They rigged the election. Deranged Jack Smith is a prosecutor who was put there in order to screw up the election for the Republican Party.
Mr. Trump pleaded not guilty last year to federal election interference charges. It's now up to U.S. District Court Judge Chutkan to determine whether she believes Trump has immunity in the allegations outlined in this superseding indictment. A decision is not expected before Election Day. If Trump wins the election, he will have the authority to order the Justice Department to dismiss the criminal case against him. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Now to